Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Math 20-1, Chapter 7, Section 5, Solving Rational Equations. Now, note here or recall that you can solve equations. So if I give you an equal sign, you can tell me what something equals. So 2x plus 2 equals 3x minus 4. Put all the x's on one side, so arbitrarily minus 2x. And get all the numbers on the other side, so plus 4, 2 plus 4, 6 equals x. So that's solving. Now, for the other one, m divided by 3 equals 13. How do I get rid of divide by 3? Well, multiply both sides by 13. So m equals 13 times 3, which is 39. So there's an equal sign you can solve. Now, here there's two types. Something equals something. Now, the cheating shortcut, if there are only two terms, cross multiply. Actually, I should color code this. So this would be, actually, my apologies, let me color code this. 9 times 5 equals 3 times x. So 45 equals 3x. And how do I get rid of times 3? Divide both sides by 3. X equals 9. No, sorry, 15. Forgive me. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Oh dear, I can hear you screaming at me now, and thank you for that. Now, so as I said, if there's only two terms, you cross multiply. So let's try the next one. Let's see if I can screw this up when you're watching. So this is 1 times 4 minus x equals 1 times x. Now 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times minus x equals x. So how do I solve this mess? 4 minus x equals x. Well, add x to both sides. Get all my x's on one side. So 4 equals 2x. Now how do I get rid of times 2? Divide both sides by 2. So x equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Now I should be going and back and checking my work. I'm just lazy. But I will say occasionally check. So let's check this one. 1 over x equals 1 over 2. 1 over 4 minus x equals 1 over 4 minus 2, which is 1 over 2. Yes, left side equals right side. If I'm checking, I should change the color. Orange. There we go. So I should always check. I apologize. I feel the coffee kicking in. Oh dear. So I have to slow down a little bit. But you should check your work. Now, I don't always say check because I'm lazy. Anyway, so this next one. Actually, let's pause the recording. You guys do these two. We'll come back and check your results, okay? Okay, for the first one, cross multiply. I got 12x equals 5 times 1, or 12x equals 5. Divide both sides by 12. I got x equals 5 twelfths. Okay? Now the other one, I'll start it off with you. This is 10. Remember I said cross multiplying? That's 10 over 1. Now solve the darn thing, okay? Okay, so cross multiplying, 5x times 10 gives us 2 is 50x. Divide both sides by 50. I get x is 1/25th, which is 0.04, Mr. Calculator. This is why it's better to leave it as a fraction. 2/50ths is 1/25th, okay? So far, so good? So don't be confused if I don't have a denominator. Now, the hard part, if you're solving more than two terms, something plus something or something minus something, you've got to go common denominators. Okay? Now, there's a trick to this besides the common denominator. So let's look at this. This is 3, this is 2 times 3, and this is 3 times 3. Sorry, 3 is 3, 6 is 2 times 3, and 9 is 3 times 3. So what's my common denominator here? 2 times 3 times 3, or 18. Okay? So I have to multiply this by 6, this by 3, and this by 2, I think. 2 times 9, 3 times 6, 6. Yes. All right? So the next step, this is 12 over 18 plus 15 over 18 equals 2x over 18. So far, so good? Now just double checking because I'm 2 6s are 12, 5 3s are 15, 2 times x 6. All right, now that's half the trick with this. The other half is, what's the common denominator? 18. So multiply everything by 18. So this is 12 plus 15 equals 2x. Or 15, 17, 27 equals 2x divided by 2 divided by 2. X is 27 over 2. Yes, and I leave it like that because that's 13.5 is what Mr. Calculator would say. I'd rather you leave it as a fraction. All right. So far, so good? Okay. Now, that's the proper way to do it. I'm going to show you a cheating shortcut because, well, I want to. So this is 2/3 plus 5/6 equals x over 9. Checking? So what is the common denominator here? 18. So what some people will do is multiply everything by 18 right at the beginning. Now let me show you this. So 18 times this, and 18 times this, and 18 times this, before you figure out what the denominator, before you multiply over the denominator. Now, note here, we're multiplying everything by 18, so we're not changing the equation. Now, what is 18 times 2 divided by 3? Or what is 18 divided by 3? That's 6 times 2, 12. What is 18 divided by 6? That becomes 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And what is 18 divided by 9? That becomes 2. So if you can figure out what the common denominator is and multiply everything by the common denominator, that is a really cheating shortcut. Now, notice we've got 12 plus 15x equals 2x. So we skip this step and we went right to here. Now, does that save some steps? Yes. Does that confuse people easily? Yes. That's why I'm a little hesitant to show it to you. Okay? But a lot of people go, oh, that saves me a lot of work. So let's try one here. 6 and 8 and 12. That's 2 times 3. That's 2 times 2 times 2. That's 2 times 2 times 3. Sorry. Go back to Math 10C, lowest common multiple, greatest common factor stuff. So 2 times 2 times 3, or 24. Looks to be my lowest common denominator. So I multiply, if I do my cheating shortcut, everything by 24. So what is 24 divided by 6? It's 4 times x. What is 24 divided by 8? I think that's 3. And what is 24 divided by 12? I think that's 2, or 1 times 2. So this whole thing, if we see that cheating shortcut, becomes 4x minus 3x equals 2. Now notice there's not a lot of steps there, but it's confusing and it's really easy to muck it. So 4x minus 3x is x equals 2. Okay? So that is a cheating shortcut. Now I did say check. So 2 over 6, minus 2 over 8 equals 1 over 12. 1/3 minus 1/4 equals 12. Common denominators, multiply this by 4, multiply this by 3. 4 over 12 minus 3 over 12 equals 1 over 12. 1 over 12 equals 1 over 12. Yes, it works. I did not make a boo-boo. So this finding the common denominator and multiplying everything by that helps. So let's look at the next one. This is 3 times x, this is x, and this is 10 over 1, 1. So what's my lowest common multiple? Or my lowest common denominator is 3x. So everything gets multiplied by 3x. So the very first one, 3x divided by 3x is 1. So this is 1 times 2. 3x divided by x is 3. So this is 1 times 3. And my last one, 3x divided by 1 is 3x. So this is 10 times 3 or 30. Sorry. 10 times 3x. Oh, this isn't so bad once you do some canceling out. So this is 2 plus 3 equals 30x. 5 equals 30x. Okay, that's not so bad. Now, how do you get rid of times 30? Yes, divide both sides by 30. So x equals 5 over 30, which is 1/6. Okay? Now I gotta go back and check that. Oh, God. Checking. That hurts. 2 over 3x, so that's 2 over 3 times 1/6. Plus 1 over 1/6 equals 10. Holy crapola. So that becomes 2 times 6 over 3 plus 1 times 6 over 1. 2 6s are 12. So that is 12 over 3 plus 6, which is 4 plus 6, which is 10. Now I skipped a couple steps here. I did this in my head. Divided by 1/6, the same as multiplying by 6. I'm running out of space there. Grab Mr. Calculator to prove it. But yes, it does work. So find the common denominators and multiply both sides by the common denominators. So this one, actually, I'm going to stop the recording. I want you guys to do this purple one on your own without my help. And what's the common denominator? Yes. Anyway. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So my common denominator is 1 times x, or x. So I multiply everything, each term by x. The first term becomes x times x. Now notice in the second term, it's x divided by x, which cancels out. So this is 1 times 6. And minus 5 times x. So this becomes x squared minus 6 equals minus 5x. So add 5x to both sides. And I get x squared plus 5x minus 6 is 0. And you're going, oh God, this is factoring and solving quadratic equations from chapter 4.2? Something like that. So x is minus 6 and x is 1. Now I have to check. So minus 6 over minus 6 equals minus 5. This is minus 6. That's minus 6 minus 1. That's minus 6 plus 1. Minus 5 equals minus 5. That works. Now, x equals 1. That's 1 minus 6 over 1 equals minus 5. 1 minus 6 equals minus 5. Minus 5 equals minus 5. Yes. So when I say check, check. Right? Now the next one is booby-trapped. What's the common denominator of x minus 1? X minus 1. So multiply both sides by x minus 1. And what happens? Cancels out. X squared equals 1. Okay? So what's the value for x? X equals plus or minus the square root of 1. So x equals plus or minus. So far, so good. So what's the problem here? Well, let's go back to the original equation and check. X equals 1. Now, I'm going to erase this so you can clearly see. This is 1 squared over 1 minus 1 equals 1 over 1 minus 1. What's 1 minus 1? You cannot divide by 0. So I should have gone back and done my non-permissible values. X cannot equal 1. So I have to reject plus 1. What about minus 1? Do a color I haven't done yet. All right. So x equals minus 1. This becomes minus 1 squared over minus 1 equals 1 over minus 1. Cramming in the corner there. That's 1 over minus 2 equals 1 over minus 2. So yes, here we have to reject the plus 1. But x equals minus 1 works. So be careful of these, okay? Always check your answers, and I promise you're going to see one of these where there's a problem. Now, so here's one. 3 over x minus 5 plus 1 over x plus 5 equals x squared minus 25. Now, you're all going, oh God! Look at it carefully. This is x plus 5 times x minus 5. So what's the common denominator for everything? X plus 5 times x minus 5. So once you see that, it's easy. So you multiply this by x plus 5 times x minus 5. This times x plus 5 times x minus 5. And this by x plus 5 times x minus 5. When you do that, stuff starts canceling out. So this is 3 times x plus 5, x plus 5, plus 1 times x minus 5 equals, go here, 2. And I'm going, all of a sudden, holy poop, that doesn't look so bad. 3x plus 15 plus x minus 5 equals 2. 4x plus 10 equals 2. Minus 10. 4x equals minus 8. Divide both sides by 4. X equals minus 2. Now, did I say check? No, I didn't, but 3 minus 1. Yeah, I'm not going to bother checking that one. You youngins with a calculator can plug the numbers in and solve. That's going to be some sort of decimal fraction. I'm too lazy to do it. But notice, once you get common denominators and multiply by the common denominator, how a lot of stuff cancels out, and you go from this ugly looking equation to this, which is much, much more reasonable. All right? Now, of course, I have one more in here. Now, what's the common denominator? Well, let's see. X squared plus 7x, that's x plus 2 times x plus... Oh, goody. My common denominator is x plus 2 times x plus 5. So I'm going to pause the recording. You multiply this out, and we'll come back and compare answers. Okay, guys. When I did this... Actually, no. Let me show you steps. It'll be easier. I realized I have to multiply everything by x plus 2 times x plus 5. So I started canceling stuff out, and notice here I got 4x times x plus 2. The second term, the x plus 2 cancels out, so I'm down to minus 2x times x plus 5. And then the equals 12 times whatever, everything cancels out except for the 12. Now, is this a pain in the bum? Yes. Is this solvable? Yes, we just do some FOILing. 4x squared plus 8x, don't forget your minus, that's minus 2x squared minus 10x equals 12. Or 2x squared minus 2x equals 12, which simplifies to 2x squared minus 2x minus 12 is 0. Now, keep going. What have I got? Now I divide everything by 2. I should just write it out here. I just forgot. So I've got x squared minus x minus 6 is 0. X minus 3 times x plus 2 is 0. So x minus 3 is 0. X plus 2 is 0, which gives me x equals 3 and minus 2. So, see how this goes? So it's not so... What the hell? Sorry. What the heck? My bad. That's how that goes. So... if you got questions or problems, shoot me an email. Otherwise, work on the check your understanding questions, and good luck.